On the news tonight, President Tinubu presents 2024 appropriation bill tagged Budget of Renewed Hope. And FCT Minister reviews security architecture in the Federal Capital Territory.
This is the news at 7 on NTA Channel 5, Abuja. I am Mariam George Jitubo. Glad to have you join us. President Tinubu has left for Dubai, United Arab Emirates, to attend the COP28 Climate Summit. In Dubai, President Tinubu will deliver a national statement highlighting Nigeria's stance on various thematic issues, including renewable energy and climate financing. President Tinubu will also actively participate in key sideline events, which will further support the advancement of his avowed commitment to aggressively attract foreign direct investment for enhanced wealth creation and revenue expansion in the country. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu says Nigeria's national defense and internal security, local job creation, macroeconomic stability, investment environment optimization, human capital development, poverty reduction, and social security are some of the top priorities of the 2024 budget of Renewed Hope. Addressing a joint session of the National Assembly on the 2024 federal budget proposal on Wednesday in Abuja, President Tinubu said the nation's internal security architecture will be overhauled to enhance law enforcement capabilities with a view to safeguarding lives, property, and investments across the country. He said the proposed budget prioritizes human capital development with particular attention given to children because human capital remains the most critical resource for national development. To improve the effectiveness of our budget performance, the government will focus on ensuring value for money, greater transparency, and accountability. In this regard, we will work more closely with development partners and the private sector to address long-standing issues in the education sector. A more sustainable model of funding tertiary education will be implemented, including the student loan scheme, scheduled to become operational by January 2024, the president affirmed. Speaking on the economy, President Tinubu said a stable macroeconomic environment is crucial in his administration's bid to catalyze private investment and accelerate economic growth. Hence, his government shall continue to implement business and investment-friendly measures for sustainable growth. The Supreme Court has ordered that the old 200 naira, 500 naira, 1,000 naira notes should continue to coexist with the new notes as all continue to remain legal tender until the federal government put a process in place for their replacement or redesign after due consultation with relevant stakeholders. The 7-man panel of justices, headed by Justice Inyang Okoro, gave the order following a motion filed by the federal government through the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice, seeking the order of the court to grant an extension of time for old naira notes to remain in circulation as legal tender. The government also prayed the court to lift its earlier order, which was given on March 3, 2023, believing that the extension of time is necessary as it has not been able to print the volume of new notes that will enable a phase-out of the old currency. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has directed the Federal Capital Development Authority to provide infrastructure in the areas earmarked for the construction of residential buildings for the judges and High Court and the Abuja Division of the Court of Appeal in Katampe and Jabi districts of Abuja. The minister gave the directive during an on-the-spot assessment of the project sites within the city center. Onoze Akubu tells us more.
Commence the provision of critical infrastructure in the areas designated for the construction of residential buildings for the judges of the Abuja Division of the Court of Appeal and FCT High Court in Jabi and Katankpe districts, Abuja. This was the marching order by the FCT Minister Yeson Wiki to the city developers, saying that there will be no meaningful development on the designated areas without the provisions of infrastructure, especially roads.
We need to provide infrastructure, particularly roads. And I've also directed the FCDA to make sure that that is done. And then acquire some buildings for public purposes and pay compensation for part of this Court of Appeal complex of the Abuja division of the Court of Appeal. And we have directed the Director of Parks and Recreation to bring out a proper design that will be a test of time.
At the site of the 2008 building collapse in Jabi, which claimed 7 lives, the minister disclosed that the administration has concluded arrangement to build a befitting memorial park on the site, revealing that all these projects will commence immediately the 2024 budget is passed and assented to by the president. The project, he adds, will be funded using the internally generated revenue and funds from financial institutions. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Federal Capital Territory Administration says it has concluded arrangements for the review of security architecture in the territory. FCTA Director of Security Services, Adamu Gwari, disclosed this during an end-of-year media briefing in Abuja. Again, Onoze Yakubu tells us more.
Reviving the G7 security initiative and the need to expand the number of security informants to include artisans and farmers form part of the new strategy to be employed to combat crime and criminality in the FCT. The director of the FCTA Department of Security Services, Adamu Gwari, explains that the use of informants and vigilante groups for information and intelligence gathering are part of community policing strategy of the administration.
Addressing security challenges is more of information sharing today. So effort is to see that we have as much as we can manage those intelligence gathering apparatus that we are leveraging on to get information from the rural areas.
The director further reiterates that begging and hawking within the FCTA secretariat is now banned as part of efforts to ensure security.
This issue of one chance is just because of the poor transportation system that we are grappling with. If we have that one, the chances for all these miscreants to be using their racket vehicle and committing crime and what have you will ease.
He further discloses that the administration has completed the installation of CCTV cameras around the secretariat in the phase 1 of the project, adding that the phase 2 will involve installations in strategic areas of the city.
In our traditional
Adamu Gwari, however, appealed to traditional leaders to adhere to the code of conduct guiding the traditional institution, while decrying the weak legal structures in the FCT, which he says have negatively affected the adjudication of justice. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Former Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, has challenged students in secondary and tertiary schools to pursue a path of intellectual growth and capacity development that will launch Nigeria among the International Committee of Nations. The former DG, NTA, was represented at a book launch where prolific 13-year-old writer and student of JSS Karshi Abuja, Kenneth Ajom, unveiled his third novel titled Royal Tussle. Aisha Bashir reports.
This is not the first time this young lad, Kennedy Ajom, will be honored. 4 years ago, at the age of 9, inspired by 2 elder sisters who are published writers, he wrote his first book, My Father Loves Me. Realizing the success is born from teamwork, he wrote a second book, Together. The Royal Tussle, his third effort, is described by the retinue of guests at the launch Among them, Manager News NTA Channel 5 Abuja, Ifeanyi Okafo, who represented former Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, as an outstanding creative work worthy of emulation by all students and an affirmation that children in public schools can perform exceptionally with every sense of purpose. Representatives from Universal Basic Education Commission, National Library, the Art Council, the Kershi Emirate, and neighboring government secondary schools, as well as students, acknowledged the commendable feat achieved by the teenager, who many believe has set the pace for a glorious academic prowess by students of public schools against the perceived notion.
Without me going to school, I wouldn't have been organizing these events right now, and they should always face English studies more, because without English you cannot write a storybook that is very interesting.
I encourage other students to put on effort to follow his footsteps.
All of us should put hands together to give the younger one the assistance they need. All of them have talent.
The high point of the event was the unveiling of the book Royal Tussle and presentation of awards to some prominent personalities who had encouraged young Kennedy in the march towards this great achievement. Speakers emphasized the need to encourage young creative minds in the art of writing. Aisha Bashir, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority is set to lead other broadcasting organizations in efficient service delivery to Nigerians. This was manifest at the investiture of the Director General of the NTA, Saliu Abdulhamid Dembus, as the new chairman of the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria. Ramatu Abdullahi reports.
I shall promote the aims, objectives,
The oath taken by DG NTA Saliu Abdulhamid Dembos and GMD Dar Communications Tony Akiotu signifies a new beginning for broadcast organizations in Nigeria, one that is built on competence to deliver efficiently broadcasting services to the nation. The new chairman and vice chairman were chosen based on their impeccable track records of achievements at their respective organizations. For them, it is time to justify the confidence reposed in them.
That the leadership is going to provide the enabling environment for the industry to grow. You know, there are quite a lot of challenges that we are facing today, much more than ever before, in terms of manpower, in terms of equipment, technological development, and what have you. So these are issues that we intend to sit down and look at with a view to changing the narrative for the better.
and we have a role to play in molding public opinion.
The immediate past chairman, John Ugbe, enumerated the maiden edition of the Nigeria Broadcasting Awards and the reactivation of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters as some of the achievements recorded.
Our commitment is to continue to work together with the new leadership and ensure that they do even better than we did.
It was all showers of encomium for other stakeholders present at the event.
He is equal to the task. I just pray that government, having given him the responsibility, will also give him the support.
The ball has been set rolling for the new leadership to advance the broadcasting organizations of Nigeria, born to become the voice of Nigerians. Ramatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
A hearty congratulations to our DG, wishing him success. Abuja Municipal Area Council has flagged off its campaign on the values of clean environment and dangers of communicable diseases that come as a result of poor hygienic practices in the 12 wards of the area councils. Deborah Gazajimaika reports that this commitment led to the inauguration of the Kalangu Vanguard 2023, a team of women that will partner traditional rulers to combat the menace of open defecation.
Say no to open defecation is the slogan of the campaign flagged off by the chairman, Abuja Municipal Area Council, Christopher Zaka Mekalangu. Reports say 1 in 4 persons defecate in the open in the FCT. This ugly practice by many can no longer be tolerated. Hence, the drastic action by the Abuja Municipal Area Council to embark on sensitization program at the grassroots to complement the federal government's efforts to achieve an open defecation-free nation by 2025.
I hereby inaugurate this women as Megalango Vanguard 2023 and charge them with swim into action by sensitizing the public on the need for clearer honors.
Women selected from communities in Amak will go from house to monitor and supervise sanitation exercise on daily basis, making sure defaulters of sanitation rules and regulations are sanctioned.
We have enforcement team, we have task force, but all we want is that we need cleanliness. We just want our people to live a better life. Some of our community, you see how we are living. Some don't even have toilets. So we are advising them that they should try to have one at least.
If we're able to contain our shit properly, you see that typhoid will reduce. This is the immediate one we can talk. But there are others. Dysentery. We have a lot of 5 years old that are dying because of dysentery. Cholera is another one. So you can see most of these diseases of public health importance. Shit is already responsible for most of them.
A symbolic presentation of sanitation equipment by the chairman featured at the event, which was strictly on values of clean environments. In Abuja, Deborah Gazaji-Maika, NTA News.
Our new toothpaste, Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection.
Why are we changing our toothpaste?
Because with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, I can be sure your teeth are cavity-free.
When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavity. Colgate is the world's most chosen toothpaste.
Colgate locks calcium in,
Keeps cavities out!
Over now to the sports desk for Sports Brief.
Super Falcons forward Tony Payne has said the team won't take a bird for granted in the 2024 Women African Cup of Nations final rounds first leg qualifier. The football star, who plays as a forward for Sevilla FC, expressed confidence that Super Falcons can get the needed result in the encounter. Payne said they are very confident going into this match and they are hoping Nigerians would come out and support. They will build on what they have done last time and put out a good performance. The Super Falcons will confront their Cape Verdean counterparts ahead of the 13th edition of Africa's flagship Women Football Championship in Morocco. Meanwhile, the 12 teams that will compete in the 2024 edition of the Basketball African League have finally been confirmed. Burundi's Dynamo Basketball Club secured the last 3 tickets that were up for grabs, joining Cape Town Tigers, who finished the qualifier unbeaten, and Ugandan champions City Oils, who captured the first 2 passes to the Valley. Division qualifiers were Central African Republic's Bangui Sporting Club, Morocco's Fous Rabat, and Libya's Al Ahly Benghazi finished in the top 3 to qualify. The 2024 ball season will play a record 48 games across 4 African countries, South Africa, Egypt, Senegal, and Rwanda, over 4 months, marking the first games in South Africa and the first time the league will play in 4 different countries. With Sports Brief, Wayne Ugu, NTA News.
And with sports, we end the news in English. Up next is translations. Good night.
Our new toothpaste, Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection.
Why are we changing our toothpaste?
Because with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, I can be sure your teeth are cavity-free.
When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavity. Colgate is the world's most chosen toothpaste.
Colgate locks calcium in,
Keeps cavities out!
Ama baje we shaje wo wona a yubu shagbada yi iwa na ba she ba bada wo mi press wa yuba olwa go na baje gai yiku anabaji wa nge yiki tukoda ye Bola Ahmed Tinubu wala gmelo oza lo nwa kma nge a larabawa yiki ayi nge Dubai ye gbadagun ye shi aki shibate mwanya ntu shabana de shabo yiki tukoda bai da fita manai piai wo gwamnati ye kwala kwashi nge abe shigbe nchei we wai bai je badada wai za inda a kiko gi na gban zan shi she baba lebe yiki ekwenyi ba bai nyabwa yiki ekwenyi ntu iya bigibo yiki tukwada Bola Ahmed Tinubu wada nke ashi abanu kwa shigbe yiki ye gwamnati kwa ku aza na tete shi ba gbogbo kwa shi azoko yiki nyabwa kwa mwabe ashi asa shigbe ikiye balbe shi abeda tuko sanu uwe be walo nge galuko ye bedo nge abeda agaluko abegbetu kai ye shi bedeya we gaba nge ye wewe abe wushi ki ekwashi wakoto nge gwamnati ba shi abe shigbe mba sasalo na anyaba mutuba yanya nado ngabi ayo nyamu gai na be yako na nge ayukupya ye wewe iya lefi wako daga gwamnati ba abwa guya ga zazahai ajikogi ba labe fi iki yakwai ntuga aji asa shigbe ntu eyiki ajegibo yebe ja na ba wo shu ishakwasi we fi na gbada size
Ekiri anyị uhuruchi taa nụrụ akụkọ ụwa na nkenke Okwudilichukwu Francis Sile na-ewetara ya unu. Ka ọ dị ugbu a, onye isi ala anyị bụ Tinubu agawala Dubai isonye n'ọgbakọ na-eleba anya maka mgbanwe ekere ụwa. N'ime Dubai, onye isi ala anyị ga-esonye na mkparịta ụka ga-egosipụta ebe ala anyị kwụ bụ gbasara ọnọdụ mgbanwe ekere ụwa nakwa etu a ga-esi wee mezie ya. Ọ ga-esonyekwa na ọgbakọ ga-eme ka ụwa mata na itinye akụlụba maọbụ ikwenye akụlụba n'ime ala anyị bụ Naịjirịa ga-akwalite uto ala anyị bụ Naịjirịa. Onye isi ala Tinubu ekwuola na nchekwa ala anyị bụ Naịjirịa bụ isi sekpụ ntị uto nke ọnọdụ akụlụba, nkwanye akụ eji atụ mgbere ahịa, iwulite uto mmadụ nakwa ibelata ụbịam bụ isi sekpụ ntị n'okwu etu a ga-esi mefuo ego ma nweta ego n'ime afọ na-abịa abịa bụ afọ 2024. O mere ka amata nke a n'oge ọ na-agwa ọgbakọ njikọta ọnụ ndị omeiwu ala anyị taa mgbe ọ na-agụpụtara ha etu gọọmenti etiti ga-esi nweta ma mefuo ya bụ ego n'ime afọ na-abịa abịa. Igbo onye ọma kiriri anyị etu a ka ọha anyị n'ọnụ na uhuruchi a ka ọ dịkwazie echi mgbe anyị ga-ezutekwa ọzọ. Ndewo.
Ẹ̀kálẹ́ o, ìròyìn ló ń dé sí etí gbọ̀nyìn láti iléeṣẹ́ amóhùnmáwòrán ìkànnì karùn-ún l'Àbújá. Ọláyínká Adéníjì ni oníròyìn yín. Ní báyìí, ààrẹ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ti fi orílẹ̀-èdè yìí sílẹ̀ lọ sí orílẹ̀-èdè Dubai fún ìpàdé pọ̀ àwọn àjọ COP28. Ní orílẹ̀-èdè Dubai, ààrẹ yóò ṣàlàyé ọ̀rọ̀ lórí ọ̀nà àbáyọ lórí àyípadà ìgbà àti òrẹ́. Níbẹ̀ náà ni ààrẹ yóò ti pẹ̀lú pọ̀ jẹ́ kí àwọn akẹgbẹ́ rẹ̀ ó mú akitiyan rẹ̀ lórí àjùmọ̀ṣepọ̀ tó mọ́yán lórí tí yóò fi mú kí okòwò wa kó di èyí tí ó wà ní ìlàmìlaka. Ààrẹ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ti fìdí rẹ̀ múlẹ̀ wípé gbogbo ohun tí yóò mú kí orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ó wà ní iṣẹ́ gidi tí àwọn èèyàn ó ti fi máa rí ìwọ̀n iṣẹ́ tí ó jẹ́ alátọwọ́dá àti ààbò tó péye jákèjádò orílẹ̀-èdè, okòòwò elérè lórí, ìdàgbàsókè àwọn ohun àlùmọ́ọ́nì àti iṣẹ́ tí yóò mú kí ìṣẹ́ ó di àfìsẹ́yìn tẹ́gùn fi ṣọ ló jẹ́ ohun tó jẹ òun lógún gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ṣe ṣe àlàyé rẹ̀ nínú ìwé ìṣúná owó ti ọdún 2024 tó ń bọ̀ lọ́nà yìí. Nígbà tó ń ṣèpàdé pọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣojú-ṣòfin lọ́jọ́ òní ló fìdí ọ̀rọ̀ náà kalẹ̀ níbi tí wọ́n ti ń tẹ́ pẹpẹ àti ìjíròrò lórí ìṣúná owó ọdún tó ń bọ̀ yìí. Ààrẹ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu kò ṣàìsọ di mímọ̀ láìsí àní-àní wípé ìjọba òun kì yóò figbá kan bọ̀kan nínú tí sí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà yóò sì jagun mólú tí ó sì fi bọ̀rọ̀ jọgà lórí ohun gbogbo tí kò àwa bá ń fẹ́. Tó rìn àwọn kùnú jù báyìí lọ, gbogbo wa láòjí láyọ̀ ọ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan náà sì ni Olúwa yóò ṣe fún wa. Ire ni.